Another reason why these scams can be so frustrating is because the crooks are using online phone numbers, and those can be hard to trace. That means that while this house is in Springfield, Missouri, the crook can be anywhere. From choosing the color of the wall to planning for technology 20 years down the road, the detail that goes into planning just one hospital room is extensive. Materials available for checkout, as well as public internet access, could be affected by the cuts. And in some cases, the library is the only place where people can find that. Businesses did not just die overnight, which a lot of people mistakenly think. Many of the businesses out here dwindled because of factors that could influence any business anywhere. There are others, though, that are still alive and well along this long stretch of highway. The decision to use the Common Core education standards is ultimately up to the states. Lawmakers could decide to shoot the idea down, as they did in Indiana, or approve it outright. Either way, Missourians say due process is important. And firemen's jobs could get a little busier.
Delicious but dangerous fried turkey could spice up your holiday meal. Is it worth the risk? Underwriters Laboratory, one of the world's largest consumer safety organizations, refuses to certify turkey but dangerous because fried turkey could spice up your holiday meal. Is it worth the risk? Underwriters Laboratory, one of the world's largest consumer safety organizations, refuses to certify turkey fryers because the fire risks are too great. There are ways to avoid disaster. Jim Gallagher has used a turkey fryer issue-free for years.
I use mine quite a bit. I've used it for
onto the side of the house generally.
There are ways to avoid disaster. Jim Gallagher has used a turkey fryer issue-free for years.
I use mine quite a bit. Fried stuff. I usually put the turkey fryer. I've used it for on a level surface, just frying concrete. Usually have a fire chicken wings and handy, cell phone handy, cook a whole lot, or a regular phone.
Using the correct oil for the fryer, drying the turkey thoroughly, and taking advantage of new technology help to make it safer.
Most of the new ones nowadays also have or a regular phone timers on.
Using the correct oil for the fryer, drying the turkey thoroughly, and taking advantage of new technology help to make it safer.
Most of the new ones nowadays also forces you to stay out. Timers on them. With them
Not that it takes a lot of force to keep you within eyesight of a bird bubbling in hot oil, one that cooks in half the time it takes in the oven. Remember, if you do find yourself in an emergency,
leave it as is, call 911,
not that it takes a lot of force to keep you within eyesight of a bird bubbling in hot oil, I'm Erica Semsch, one that cooks in half the time it takes in the oven. Remember, if you do find yourself in an emergency,
leave it as is, call 911, call the fire department, and make sure everybody's out of the house.
In Springfield, I'm Erica Semsch, Ozarks News Journal.
It's like buying a house and I know where the kitchen's going to be and where the bathrooms are, and that just helps to not walk in cold turkey.
Consider it house hunting for nurses. Cox Health put together several mock hospital rooms to give the nurses a test run. Workers got to check out a mock NICU and emergency room.
It allows us to catch either challenges or things maybe a design team hasn't thought about. By bringing staff to the space, we can go, oh wait, we need to reconsider this, or this is in the wrong place. This kind of time is way worth the end result.
From choosing the color of the wall to planning for technology 20 years down the road, the detail that goes into planning just one hospital room is extensive.
For example, our computer right now, we notice that the hinge is sticking out too far. That can be a safety issue for a child or a staff member hitting up against that. So that's something we're going to adjust our counter length and move that computer back. There's things once you get down the design process, it's too late to change. Some of that structure's already there.
No more computers on wheels. These rooms are smart.
It's going to be really nice for the nurse to be able to actually come in the room, chart in the room, the computers are there, we're not having to move them from room to room.
No word on the price tag of these rooms. The cost is included in the overall construction budget. For Contact KY3, I'm Erica Semsch. Changes could be coming to libraries across the state. Governor Jay Nixon made the decision to withhold or veto over $1 billion of the state legislature's budget, meaning libraries could see less state aid, at least $6.6 million less.
Unless things change, we're going to have to find another $200,000 that we already had in the budget.
Libraries like Springfield Greene County have grown to rely on the funds.
I've been in this job for 5.5 years, and we've always gotten our state aid, and we count on that state aid. All the libraries do throughout the state. And to have that totally taken away so that we're getting $0 at this point in state aid has just been a real blow. We will probably take bits of money from all throughout the budget to add it back in.
Materials available for checkout, as well as public internet access, could be affected by the cuts. And in some cases, the library is the only place where people can find that.
This was for the longest time a big place for me to get my only internet at. So any kind of budget funds like to take that away it's gonna hurt a lot of people.
Some patrons can't afford it, or they can't get access in rural areas. Internet access is a necessity.
I know a lot of people that come here just to pay their bills because a lot of places only pay online nowadays. So the only place they can get the internet for is here.
Librarians are reminding Missouri citizens they do have a voice.
We feel like, you know, the more that the governor can hear from the citizens that this directly affects, maybe that will have an effect on his thought process and he will feel comfortable releasing these funds.
Funds that many Missourians are relying on for many reasons. In Springfield, I'm Erica Semsch, Ozarks News Journal. Its name goes hand in hand with the history of America. It has been immortalized in our songs, books, and pictures. And for many, Route 66 represents the backdrop of a lifetime.
To some people, it's a place, actually. Even though the route was 2,400 miles long, it represents a place in America to them, just a long, drawn-out place. But yet, as you travel the route, your experiences would come back to you. You would capture those places in your mind, and you could actually think of Route 66 with various snapshots of what you would find along it as places.
My son travels, and he's traveled quite a bit in other countries, and he said most people, wherever he goes, they want to see the Mother Road. And they may not even know what it is. So all over the world, people do want to come here and see the Mother Road.
And travel they did, for decades along the route. And along with this travel came hundreds of businesses, thriving once because of the popularity of the road, and again later as it became part of history.
Very often there was a business every mile or two throughout the country. It was just amazing the volume of traffic and people, and therefore the volume of business that was to be found out there. It was called the Main Street of America, which speaks to the economics of it. Every community that lay on the route could profit by it being there.
But this immortal stretch of highway has taken a back seat in recent years to major interstates and new forms of cross-country travel. And with those forms, some of the most well-known businesses along Route 66 have fallen on hard times.
But businesses did not just die overnight, which a lot of people mistakenly think. Many of the businesses out here dwindled because of factors that could influence any business anywhere. There are others, though, that are still alive and well along this long stretch of highway.
I can remember Pete, who built this place, who we bought this place from. You know, winter months were always slow, but he'd always say, "Hey gal, stop worrying. This place has made it. It will continue to make it. You just stop your worrying," he says. "You will make it."
The question remains if there is enough interest in this once shining example of American progress to keep these businesses afloat in years to come.
There's going to be something new tried this fall. It'll be in October, but there's a gentleman out of Michigan, and he is starting in Illinois, and it's going to be a car tour that goes from there clear out to Santa Monica, and people can come and drop off whenever they want to.
But progress is not always kind to those who don't follow along with it.
The future is totally unknown on these places. Will someone else come in and try to revive them and put something in there that will sustain the site? Or will they just eventually just waste away to nothing?
Route 66 is not a dying thing. I don't think it will ever die. The thing of it is, it's got to be taught to our children. Our children have got to learn what Route 66 is.
Whether these small businesses are able to survive for years to come remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. This famous road that has spawned so many romantic American dreams is still providing memories for some and a livelihood for others. And with any luck, those who grew up getting their kicks on Route 66 just might keep it alive.
There's something about Route 66 that just sort of gets in your blood, and it makes you just want to learn and do and enjoy.
On America's most famous stretch of highway, I'm Erica Semsch, Ozarks News Journal.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Ozarks News Journal. I'm Erica Semsch. Being the parent of a crying child on an airplane can result in glares and uncomfort from fellow passengers. But one airline has a solution. For an extra fee, parents can sit back, relax, and enjoy their flight, while a flying nanny tends to their child. Etihad Airlines out of Abu Dhabi is now offering an in-flight childcare service. Flying nannies are trained in child psychology and will entertain your fussy kiddo until you have arrived at your destination. Zach, I don't know if I could trust a flying nanny with my child, I'm sorry. Welcome back to Ozarks News Journal. Governor Jay Nixon again slams an income tax proposal, but supporters call the governor's position laughable. He wants to veto Senate Bill 509, recently passed legislation that would decrease income taxes in Missouri. But the governor criticized a particular modification he believes would exempt those at the top of the tax bracket from paying income taxes altogether. While the governor has not yet vetoed the bill, he is set to do so in the coming weeks. Welcome back. Today we're speaking with Missouri State University President Cliff Smart. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here, Erica.
I guess we can start off with the changes going on in higher education across the state. What are some of those changes?
Well, we're working on a new performance funding measure.
All right, no progress goes without its critics. What do you say to those who are saying that too much is going to athletics?
Well, to me, that's not a valid criticism because the students voted for that fee.
President Obama announced his plans for dealing with the terrorist group ISIS this week. The U.S. will continue its aerial assault while arming and training Syrian rebels to continue the fight on the ground. Congress passed the president's proposal but faced significant opposition from both parties. The American public is also divided on the issue. Welcome back to Ozarks News Journal. Each week we put someone on the hot seat. This week we have Rihanna Clark.
Rihanna is a senior biology major here at Missouri State University. And
why were the masks that you wore in the protest necessary?
This is the first time anyone's ever protested on campus.
In our final story for the night, a few weeks ago, the first blood moon in the rare tetrad, which is a series of 4 blood moons in the time span of a year and a half, made its appearance. Before the 20th century, there was a 300-year period where there were no blood moons. Luckily, those who missed this unique astrological event will be able to catch it again in October. Unlike solar eclipses, lunar eclipses can be viewed with the naked eye.
Well, did you actually stay up and watch the whole thing?
I did. I ended up staying up and watching it. And it was a pretty cool experience. I probably won't do it in October, but how about you? Are you going to see it?
I didn't see this one, and I feel like I probably should.
And that's probably a good thing to catch.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Ozarks News Journal. Please join us next week for our semester's Best of show.
If you'd like more information about the stories you've seen on today's show, please visit our website, myozarksnewsjournal.com. Have a great day, Missouri.